looks like Tim's been shopping. A lot.
We are Lisa and Tim, and we are building an off-grid home on wheels from the remains of this 1975 Bedford Firetruck. We bought the truck off eBay at the end of 2020 and spent most of last winter holed up in this barn on a farm without electricity and fighting the cold, the dark, the wind and the rain of Cornwall.
If you can hear me over the wind.
Whilst we took the whole thing apart, bolt by rusty bolt, so we could begin the lengthy process of restoring the vehicle. We started with the cab, scraping, grinding, welding, and now sandblasting, removing the old paint and all the years of rust. It's summer now, and we're still battling the elements on most days.
The wind blew from over there, and I opened the doors, and the wind removed the tent.
But with the help of a generator, a homemade tent, and some, true grit, we're making progress.
Woo! Wow!
And this week, we're reaching the final messy stages of the sandblasting and even laying down the first coat of some much anticipated primer. We are Old Rope Salvage, and this is the story of us attempting to build the world's greatest adventure mobile on the world's smallest budget.
So I guess I'm gonna have to unpack all this little lot and see what the heck is going on here. Right, what have we got here then? We've got a massive can, 5 litre can of degreaser. What next? Alright. Ooh. Wow, right, okay, what we got here, 4 litres of Raptor anti-corrosive epoxy primer. I think this might be the expensive one. Next!
The choice between happy and sad.
Packaging nightmare. So what we have here is a fiberglass, super tough and sandable. And this isn't for filling holes because we've already done all that with the welding. It's for going over all the bits that we have welded, making it look all really good. And here, some more body filler. Ultra lightweight, easy sanding. I think it probably does exactly what it says on the tin. It's body filler, so I guess it fills the body. This looks like an advert for U-Pol at the moment.
But she lost the grip on the hands of time. But it was good, good, good. All the good times.
This is a really thick, high build primer which goes on over the epoxy. That's on, I believe. And fast hardener to go with it. Can you still see me there? Recycling's going to be busy. Right, last big box. We have some thinner which goes with the primer, and we have some sealant for going in all the cracks and crevices in the body. And we have here some tack cloths for getting all the dirt off and everything before it's painted. And the final, better not get these dirty. This looks like we've got some paint filters to stop rubbish from getting in the paint. I wonder how much all this cost. Tim?
Oh my god!
Have you been spending all my money?
I've got to clear all this mess up, haven't I? Well, we needed some stuff to paint the truck. We've got a few bits and pieces, but basically I haven't got anything. The epoxy primer is expensive. We'll talk about that a bit later, but it's a really, really good sealer for our paint coats. As you can see, there's one thing missing here as well. What's missing? There's no colour yet. That's because we're going to keep you in suspense as to what colour we paint it.
But we have decided on colours, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
But we're not going to tell you yet.
What a mess. Oh dear.
Now we'll obviously go through all of this as we do each stage. if you didn't get all that, or I didn't explain it very well, we will share more with you as we go along.
All the good times and the bad, the best times I ever had, the choice between happy and sad.
Here we go.
Bad, bad.
Not a speck of rust to be seen, and it's out of everywhere, so yeah, it's pretty knackering. Oh, is that a little bit there? I'm having one more go over it just to clean it up and have a look, and then so yeah, hopefully tomorrow gonna have a big old clean up because there's sand in every crevice, and I don't just mean the truck either. But yeah, big old clean up, and then start mixing up some paint and spray that on. So I'm really looking forward to getting that little bit out of the way, because I don't know, it's been sitting there for such a long time now, and I've been desperately trying to get on with it, and I kind of don't mind going over the next bits, the bits I haven't done yet. I'm kind of looking forward to getting underneath all these bits and cleaning all this up, but it will certainly be a relief to get this bit done now, and then I can get on with the rest of it.
All the good times and the bad, bad, bad.
Right, it's getting exciting now. The cab is sandblasted completely back to where we were in the inside of it, and I've cleaned it all up, which took ages because there was sand everywhere. Oh, it's the beach! Go on then, keep sweeping. I'll be glad because hopefully on Sunday we'll be picking up a new vacuum cleaner. That would cut things down, make things a lot quicker. But it's all been cleaned up, and before I start getting into the paint, I'm going to go over the surfaces one more time to clean them up with some degreaser, some panel wipe. This will take off any bits of silicone and like greases and oils. Probably shouldn't be using kitchen roll because it tends to it's quite a rough surface and little bits will come off. But we'll pick them up later with the tack rags or something. Cleanliness is really important when it comes down to paint, and even though we've sandblasted it right back to bare metal, this will take off any dirt that's left in it, and also contaminants which could come from all sorts of places, even from like the compressor itself, which a lot of compressors run with oil in them, and they can kick out tiny amounts, but you know, we've come this far. We probably shouldn't take too many shortcuts, so doing it all properly where we can. Yeah, so I'll get in and degrease the inside of the cab, and then we can get to the paint. It's not a great weather day, but hopefully it's good enough. Right, I'll get in there, get the tea.
With the drizzly, foggy weather working against us, we are sandblasting then priming the cab in stages to minimise the problem of flash rusting. So with the interior now in bare, perfect metal, we are starting with that, cleaning out all the sand and degreasing ready for paint.
Alright, that's all that cleaned up, degreased, tacked off. Hopefully there's not too much dirt on the floor. You could say this is probably overkill. It's only the inside of an old truck, but some of it will be visible, and if you leave dirt even on the floor, it could blow up onto the dashboard and areas around the frame, the door frames, which will be visible when it's finished. And also, although it's the inside, most of it covered over, it's quite handy all the time to sort of like learn, and you know, you start off with the bits that people aren't going to see, hone your craft a little bit better, get better at it, and then by the time you do the bits that you are going to see, hopefully you'll know what you're doing. If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well.
or as well as you can.
Right, cleaning done, onto paint. So what we're using, what we're painting it with is this epoxy primer. I've never used it before, so this is a learning experience to see how good it is and what it does. But it's kind of quite highly recommended these days as being probably the best kind of first coat paint you can have, particularly over bare sandblasted metal. There are quite a few different ones on the market. We came across this one. It's marketed to go underneath U-Pole's Raptor paint, which is a wrinkly, hard, super hard wearing like bed liner paint. But it does actually say as well that it's, you know, it's an epoxy primer. And so that's what we're going to use. They recommend using 2 to 3 coats, but also they say if you're going to coat it with a high build primer, which we are intending, then you just need the 1 coat, which is good because this stuff is expensive, so hopefully it will go a bit further. It's got great anti-corrosive properties, it sticks to the metal really well, and this is what we're going to coat the whole of the all the metal work. We're going to coat it with this, and then we're going to do the bodywork over it. So yeah, basically I've got to mix this up. It's a 4-to-1 mix, so you put the hardener of it, 1 part of hardener to 4 parts of paint. Give it a good stir, and yeah, see what we can come up with. Yeah, it's a learning experience. I'm gonna have to see how it goes. I've got the mask all cleaned out, proper safety precautions, and we have the ventilation fan going as well, or will do. So yeah, basically I better mix some paint up. It's grey. I'm only ever painted with old cellulose primer. Back in the day it's all we really had. Or etch primer as well. Etch primer is really good over bare metal. It's got a sort of acid etch properties so that it kind of bites right into the steel. I've never used this epoxy, and it's rated really highly by lots of people, and it's etch primer can have a couple of issues when it comes down to putting body filler over it if you don't use it properly. Oh, it's going to take some stirring, that is. Got some lumps at the bottom. Might want to speed this bit up.
The choice between happy and sad. All the good times and the bad.
It's going to be a bit boring now. 20 minutes later. I haven't even got the crusty stuff off the bottom yet. Wow, how are you supposed to mix those lumps in? This can take me forever to mix this. Forever. Join me in a couple of days. I've got an electric whisk. It's got to be an easier way.
She was way past good. She was really fine and it was good. But she lost the grip on the hands of time. But it was good. All the good times and the bad. The best times I ever had.
Still a few lumps left in there.
All the good times and the bad. Caught up in the moment we.
If anyone's got a better idea how to mix paint, leave it your idea in the comments. Join me next week when I'll be making a cheesecake. Well, it looks like I only have 3 holes. Brilliant. Don't worry, I won't put you through any more of this. I'll mix it and then come back when I've finished that. I don't know how long that took in the end. It took so long I had to have a lunch break. So it's all smooth now. So let's better mix some up. There's quite a bit of paint. Perfecto. So once this is mixed up, it has a pot life a workable life of 2 hours, and it's recoatable. If you want to put a second coat on, it will be it's 10 minutes to put your second coat on, and then it should be completely, totally dry and hard and everything in, I think it's 8 hours at 20 degrees. Stuff rooting in is mixing really well. So far the plastic container hasn't melted. It's possible to get like disposable plastic containers, but I'm not a big fan of throwing stuff away in single-use plastics. I was hoping this one wouldn't be a single-use, as long as it doesn't melt. Alright, let's mask up, start spraying. Say the booth.
Using a spray gun, Tim successfully managed to get the whole interior into its first coat of primer. There were a couple of small runs here and there, and despite all the cleaning, some sand which was hiding got blown out and stuck in the paint, creating a lovely texture. But in all, it was a fine job, and only the first coat, so there will be plenty of opportunity to come to tidy up the imperfections.
Ooh! Wow! Oh, wow! That's amazing! It's really weird how, even though you know it's been done and you sort of picture it in your head, seeing it, it's like, oh, yeah!
It's shiny.
It's amazing! I'm actually a bit lost for words, and that's very unusual for me, believe me. So we've come in this morning and we've nearly finished doing the sandblasting of all the roof and all the back panels and everything. So today we're hoping to finish that off and get that into some paint.
Yes.
So we're just having a cup of tea and
Yes.
ruminating on the issues that we've got.
The issues are, well, the paint says, you shouldn't really be using the paint above 90% humidity.
Yeah, I just checked and it's 97% humidity, which is fairly standard.
I guess, during the summer is when you can crack on with things like the paint and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, that's what we're kind of hoping.
Summer. So yeah, it's I think it's the 12th of August, so it is actually allegedly the height of summer, but it's not been the best summer this year.
Cornwall is beautiful, absolutely no doubt about it. It's mad with tourists and people in here. It's like completely mental, and they seem to drive in the middle of the road all the time. Don't know how wide their cars are. Anyway, Cornwall is...
You don't want to end up on Cornwall Live, do you?
Cornwall is beautiful, but there is something that should be known as actual fact. It rains down here, and it rains more here than I reckon than anywhere else. And also, it's very windy. When it is really good weather, there's no other place you'd like to be. But you do have to you live with that rain. It definitely rains more here than anywhere. The sandblasting is difficult as well in this weather because of the really high humidity. Is that the process of compressing air through the compressor and all that does create moisture within it, and we have water traps and things, and you have to drain the tank out. But obviously when it's 97% humidity, you're not just compressing air, but you're compressing a lot of moisture. And the sand, that's one of the reasons probably you don't paint in high humidity, but also the sand doesn't like being wet. Yeah, towards the end of yesterday, the humidity was really picking up, and it was getting almost impossible because there was just clumps of wet sand coming out occasionally. Yeah. So we're going to see how it goes today. We've only got a little bit left to finish. Our plan was to come in. We've got some more new sand in it, We're going to get rid of the last bit of it, and then we were hoping that by this afternoon we'd get paint or primer on the roof and the back panel, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
The good news is...
Is the good news?
Yeah, coming into the winter, thankfully this year, is that we are getting the mains electricity on the 4th of September, and that's all is sort of set up now as we speak. So hopefully this winter will be completely different to last winter's. Don't come to Cornwall! Anyway.
Alarm goes off at 4:45. Roll out of bed, rub the sleep from my eyes. Throw on a shirt and some jeans and my boots, and then it's time to make that morning drive. Work all day till I'm totally beat. Get back home and fall right to sleep. Alarm goes off in the morning and the cycle's complete. Work, sleep, repeat. Yeah, work, sleep,
Well, please excuse the noise, but it's really handy to be able to have a look around the tent whilst Lisa's in there actually blasting, just to see the gaps and places where air might be coming through and stuff, and it looks pretty good. We're not sealed up right at the floor, and the sand does tend to fall down here, but nothing comes out of the gaps. Because of the fan, I think the tent is trying to take in air in these places, so all those potential gaps are more like air going in, and it's all blowing out through the fan. The fan works amazing. You can see the dirt on it. It really helps to clear the air in the tent, and also to stop the dust blowing in everywhere. There's a little bit coming out, and probably some of that is blowing back in the workshop, but we got most of it. Fabulous job. And she's still in there.
Sometimes at work I just sit around and fantasize about how I could save myself from dying in this working life. And that alarm goes off again at 4:45. Roll out in bed, rub the sleep from my eyes. Throw on a shirt and some jeans and my boots, and then it's time to make that morning drive. Yeah, work, sleep, it's all I ever do anymore. Somewhere up the line, I forgot what I was working for. And there goes life, looks like it's going down for me.
It's not glamorous. It's not pretty. But someone's got to do it. Put that kettle on.
All I ever do is work, sleep, repeat.
Oh, I've drunk some. Better put the kettle on. Another cup of tea. So our first suck up with a hoover, what did we get? We'll sieve that out and use that again.
Tim finished degreasing the roof and the rear panel ready for the next round of painting, and I was entrusted with the task of painting into the seams, which had been particularly hard to get into with the sandblaster. We did this just to give an extra layer of insurance against rust, just in case any specks had been left in the crevices.
There's only 2 hour pot life on that paint, so you've got 2 hours to paint the whole truck.
I'm working for a perfectionist who won't tolerate even the tiniest of imperfections, but I have to do perfectionism really quickly.
You could call us paranoid, but years of living in soggy Cornwall, you get used to taking extra precautions with these things.
You're not supposed to get it on the edges.
I can't do this.
Stay inside the lines. Alright, so yeah, next batch of paint mixed up. We have, I've got still trying to work it out. I've mixed up another 1/4 litre, hopefully that's enough to do the roof and the back panel. If not, just the roof, and we should get painting.
Tim's just spraying the roof of the tent behind me. I can't really go in there very much to film because we've only got one vapour mask, so, and it's really quite pungent. So I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like when he's done. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long and then we'll show you.
Well, I think that's probably it for this week's video. We've just about run out of time for this week. Unfortunately, we had hoped, against all the odds, that we were going to get it all into primer, ready to do big reveal at the end of this video, but you're going to have to wait till the next one.
Oh, you're going to get it all done in primer. I've still got all of the underneath to do.
Yes, we've done all the inside, all the top and all the back, as you've seen in the video,
Yeah.
and we just have the front and all the underneath. That's going to be...
Yeah, I'm really particularly looking forward to the underneath because I think that's where I can really get properly dirty. It's getting there, isn't it? I like to do normally the difficult bits first. But I think the inside was actually quite a difficult bit.
Yeah.
And the underside's going to be quite a pleasing thing because it's a bit dirtier and it's a bit more paint, and so you kind of like see what's happening better. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah, we kind of like to condense these episodes into one thing one week and then another thing the next week. But this is going to be carrying on, I think, for another episode.
It's a two-parter.
Two-parter, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Tim do all the underneath while I go away and edit this video, and then I'm going to come back and do the front and take all the glory because I like doing that. So yeah, we're pretty pleased, I think, aren't we, with how it's all going so far? Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, I think the paint is just a fabulous transformation, and it allows me to see where all the dents and holes are. But it's good. And we've not, it's not just the cab, but we've got a lot of parts to do as well. But
so we're going to be getting on with that next.
I think they're going to be fun.
Yeah.
I want to sandblast everything I can find. I keep on seeing stuff going, ooh, that'll look good. We'll clean that up. Yeah, we'll do this first, though.
I think we could probably let you go now.
Yeah, well.
Why don't you go make yourselves a nice cup of tea?
Yeah, and we'll see you next time with the continuation, part 2.
Yeah. See you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Is that it?
Is that it then?
Yeah. Can I get this t-shirt off now? I've been wearing this for a whole week.
Yeah, you are a bit smelly.
I don't know what continuity is, but I can change it, can I?
You can.
Right, I'm going to change my t-shirt then.
Alright, let's go. Oh.
Well, it's not quite what I was expecting.
Oh, okay.
But, hey, let's go.
Let's go to the beach then.